Chapstick.
So, vigorous discussion on Health and Human Services. That's what we spent the whole time talking about, trying to get our numbers to line up together. We plan to meet again at 5 o'clock where the governor said that he will make a significant global offer to us, so we continue to move forward.
Can you put into more detail on the vigorous discussion?
It was really exciting.
I gave you a brand new word.
Excited. You don't get excited by policy.
We went through where could we actually reduce the growth of spending. As you all know, the HHS budget is increasing at a rate of 20%, and we want to lower that spending curve a little bit. And so we went through maybe a dozen or so areas that we think we can slow that growth of spending. So we went back and forth, and now the governor is going to come back with his proposal based on our conversation today. But it was vigorous.
So his significant global offer will be essentially a response to your last offer yesterday?
That is our understanding, yes.
So any idea, are license tabs still on the table? Those types of things that you found objectionable yesterday?
As far as the House and Senate, license tabs have never been on the table. It's a non-starter. We were very close April 20th. The governor even commented about that. So we're going to continue to keep that number and keep moving forward with that. But we didn't discuss that at all today. Thank you.
Well, we've had several hours of productive discussions. We went through the legislature's tax bill point by point so we could understand what underlies the $875 million current offer. Then we went through Health and Human Services, and again, literally item by item in terms of what the assumptions are that the legislature, the Republican majorities are making in terms of healthcare savings. We don't agree on a number of those assumptions, but that's their position, so they're entitled to that. We're going to go back now and take what we've accomplished here and plug that into a global offer. We're going to meet again at 5 o'clock to discuss that, and we'll have something more substantial to report on after that meeting. Anything else?
Governor, are you feeling optimistic about where you're headed?
I continue to say, if we focus on the numbers, the budgets, then I'm optimistic we'll get it done when the legislature is supposed to conclude next Monday. We still haven't discussed any of the policy. They haven't brought it up. I've said it all along. I want to focus on just the budget, and if we'll have to cross that bridge if they're going to insist on all this policy that's not related to budget matters. We haven't had that discussion yet. I don't know if they insist on including a lot of policy in these discussions. We'll be, as I said before, we'll be up against the June 30th deadline, given the complexity of so many of these issues.
Were you convinced that there's more savings to be had in the HHS area?
Well, we believe that most of what they propose are going to result in real cuts in real programs to real people. They make a number of assumptions that there's savings to be gained in a fairly simplistic approach to making those changes, and as Commissioner Piper pointed out, you have to run those through over 1 million people that are recipients of state public health coverage. And the interrelationship between MNsure and Minnesota Care and MA is extremely complex. And then you add in the federal issues related, in one case, to the IRS coming in and nixing one proposal and all the others involved. I mean, it's just not that simple. Just to say we'll pluck 12 million or 24 million or 36 million dollars out of something that hasn't even been developed yet, we think is a very, very uncertain assumption. But that's their position, and we'll work with that.
Governor, is the ag bill really wrapped up, including policy?
No, we're still debating on that, and I could say that is case in point this is policy matter related to the budget. And they've been talking about this, the commissioner and the chairs for, what, 5 days? Including a couple hours a day, and I go back and get briefs on that now. I don't know the particulars. But you get into these policy matters, and we're talking about hours and hours and hours of discussion debate. So if they're going to insist on policy, then next Monday's out the window. We're talking a rush to try to get it done by June 30th. If we're willing to do the budget bills on the budget, then we can get it done.
On a policy bill and a policy bill, the teacher licensure passed yesterday, hurtling towards your desk. What's your mood on that bill?
I really need to get briefed from Commissioner Caselius. We've set that meeting up for later today or first thing tomorrow? Later today. So I don't have a comment until I know more about the particulars.
Governor, Senate Republicans say that your tab fee increase would cost the owner of a $20,000 car $735.
Well, I think it's over $1 million. I mean, I think it's at least $1 million. You know, I mean, why don't they make up another number? You know, they want to take the money out of the general fund, which takes it away from school kids. You know, we want to generate some revenues so that we reduce that burden on the general fund. You know, as I said yesterday, I mean, to take their tax proposal, $875 million out of the general fund, you take the transportation, $372 million out of the general fund, that's, I believe it's $1,247 million, which is most of the available surplus. And it's just, you know, I don't think it's realistic. And it just crowds out everything else, including things like the 2% formula increase for the school districts and a whole lot of other things that even in their budget, they don't have 2%, they have 1.5%. Even their budgets include some of these additional spending items. So, you know, it's just, it's not what we all would each like to do in its own right. It's how to compress these numbers into the funds that are available, and you know they're going to be up against that as we are.
Governor, the House and Senate will pass Real ID, it appears, today and tonight. Your view on the compromise bill?
Well, I'd ask the leaders here.
I think he's going to sign it.
I heard it's clean. If it's really clean, it should be fast.
I'm told that it's a bill that the Senate passed with almost a unanimous vote a couple months ago, and if that's what it is, I don't believe the governor has an objection to that. It'll pass with a large majority.
Governor, do you agree with yourself?
I always agree with the leaders, especially the last week of the session. We'll be back after the next round. Thank you.